Hello, hello, hello. And we're just getting everything in place so that we can come to you live. And I hope you're hearing me right now because sometimes this little device loves to work and sometimes it doesn't. So just trying to check and see if we are going live to 3 different places. And as you know, I have recently delved into a um, program that will help me go live in various places because I do intend to be doing a lot of lives the rest of the month. And I want to tell you a little bit more about um, what I've got going on for July and for the end of June. Now, as we know, this end of June, I got a couple of things going on. The first one is on the 28th. I will be at Harlem Hafla as part of the crew, and we will be welcoming all of you who decided to boost your creativity by coming out to Harlem Hafla. And if you still haven't gotten your tickets yet, you can get them by going to Sisters in Sharkey. That is SISTERSharqui.com / Harlem Hafla HAFLA, and that's where you can get your tickets to both the daytime classes and the nighttime show. So that's really up to you if you want to go there. And I'm trying to open up the chat right now and see if I can't uh, put that in there for you right now. Okay, let me close that. And let's see about getting our chat going. Anyway, so that's the weekend. And on Monday, I'll be hosting Elemental Alchemy, which is a 2-hour program starting at 7 p.m., which is all about how we use the 4 creative elements in order to create our lives, our creative works, and to just really get turned on by life and to really enjoy life as we know it. And the reason why this is so important is because when we think about creativity, a lot of times we think about you know just creative pursuits, singing, dancing, writing, whatever, and that's really not the true purpose of our creativity. The true purpose of our creativity is to create our own lives, the lives that we desire, the lives that we dream about, the lives we deserve, not what everybody else tells us we should want or whatever society tells us we should want. It is what we truly desire. That's how we leave this earth fulfilled and knowing that we have lived our purpose. So, um, the elemental alchemy, uh, I'm gonna see where I can find the chat. I can't remember where the chat is on this. Oh, it's right down here. So what I'm going to do is put the links to what I'm talking about down here in the chat. So hang on one second. Let me just grab myself here and put myself on my shirt. Okay. So our first um uh, now I know I cannot post to all of the channels um in the chat. Uh, but if you can see it, you see it here, right? Then we will have. Now I know you can see it on probably just on YouTube. If you're watching this from somewhere else, you can DM me directly, and I will get back to you with the various links. Okay, so we know that we're going to have the elemental alchemy That is on Monday the 30th. And that's really going to help you decide if expanding your creativity at this time is for you. And if it is, my program, Cracking the Creativity Code, will be open. The cart for that will be open. It's at its lowest future price ever. It is being shown as a do it yourself course at this time. And it's very easy to follow. All the directions are there for you. It's a 3-week course where we go meeting your muse, stalking your story, breaking out of your box. Those are the 3 topics that we cover. And during that whole time, we also have a reflection and journaling um, ebook for you as well, to journal a topic each day as you go along. And I find that this exploration into your own creativity, how are you creative? Why are you creative? In what ways are you creative? In what ways are you stifling your creativity? In what ways are you holding yourself back? Because if we are using our creativity to create our lives, then we have to think that those creative impulses are more than necessary in our lives. And if they are malfunctioning, this is the place where we play it small, where we don't dream big, where we hold ourselves back, where we get subjected to all kinds of doubts and fears about the future, and you know about what our capabilities are, and our dreams shrink down rather than expand and open up for us. So we really want to be able to focus on building the most expansive dream that we have for ourselves, not the smallest one. Okay, so now once we get to ooh, elemental alchemy, and then we get to our cracking the creativity code. And then for the month of July, starting July 1st, the day right after elemental alchemy, we're going to start our summer of self love. You've heard of the summer of love, but it's going to be the summer of self love. Learning all about ourselves. What's the difference between self love and self care? There's two different things. And one may be dependent on the other, but they are not the same thing. Okay. And we're going to be talking all about how do we practice um, self love and self care, right? How do we allow for ourselves to be at our uh, loving best to ourselves? It's called a radical self love, babies. And it's all about really delving into who you are, what you truly desire, and seeking that out. And if you've expanded your creativity, or if you are working on expanding your creativity at the same time, it really is going to make for a very, very lovely experience for you to have all of these expansive, um, elements going forward for you. So I'm looking at something here. Hang on one second. Oh, okay. So I just really wanted to check something, that everything was working. So if you have any questions about your creativity, about getting into our summer of self love, which is going to it's going to be a program that I'm inviting you to, but you don't have to do anything to get it. And that's one of the things I want to teach about self-love, is that we are all born worthy. We don't have to jump through hoops. We don't have to set ourselves on fire to keep other people warm. We are enough as we are. You don't have to sign up for anything. Okay. You don't have to go anywhere. Um, you will be told in the beginning where, when, and how things are coming forward. If you feel called to join us on a particular journey, say, for example, every Moon Day message during July will be focused on some aspect of self love and self care. Every single one. Okay. Every blog post in July 2025 will be on self love and self care. Okay. Every day you will have a prompt, something to do for yourself every single day. You'll have a self love calendar. Okay. And I will be posting on my Facebook page, on my LinkedIn page, in the group. If you want to do anything, you can join the group, um, Conscious Creatrix Circle, and that's where people will be able to post whatever they want about what they're doing. If they have any questions or comments or whatever, if you want to join that group to participate in that, I encourage it. But I'm not making any requirements of anybody because I think that we have been through so much in say the last year and a half that we all need a boost of self-love for ourselves. We need some self-love practices. We need some a toolkit of self-care that we can use. We need the Goddess's Guide to Self-Care, which I will be sending you as well, just as a gift. Um, if you want to ask for it, I will put it out where you can. I will put it out in my regular Facebook page and in the Conscious Creatrix Circle. So it's up to you. Do as much or as little as you like. It's up to you. And I really want you to understand that there is no prerequisite. There is no prerequisite to loving yourself. There's nothing you have to do. There's no place you have to go. There's nothing you have to give up. There's nothing that you have to add in order to love yourself. And how can anybody else love you properly if you don't love yourself first and know yourself and know what you will accept and what you won't for yourself if you don't love yourself first? How can you care for yourself? You can only care for yourself or for anybody else to the depth of the love that you feel for that person. And so if you're not loving yourself, you're not treating yourself well. You're not showing anybody else how to treat you well. Okay. Now you may luck into people who know how to behave, know how to love, and unconditionally and bestow that on you. But you also have to know how to ask for it, to demand it, to not let anybody treat you in a way that you don't wish to be treated, that demeans you or makes you feel less of a person than you really are. And we have to know for ourselves what we will and will not put up with and be able to draw that line of a boundary and say, not what someone else should do or what someone else has to do in order to be in your life, but what you're willing to walk away from. What are you willing to walk away from? And I'll tell you a little story, and this has to do with a professional situation, but this is what you should be able to say in your everyday life. Here goes. When my first book, Spellbound, was about to be published, there was a time where the publisher, Arabesque, which is the publisher that was going to publish me, went from being owned by Kensington Publishing to unfortunately going to BET Publishing. And in that meantime, BET Publishing was not used to being a book publisher. They were used to being a magazine publisher. And there's a big difference between the rights you grant when you are, say, publishing an article as opposed to when you're publishing a book. And they were treating the books like you were publishing an article, which means you're giving first rights away to that publisher. Okay. Now, when you're writing a book, right? You give certain things. You give the right to publication to the publisher, but not all of the rights. It's not a work for hire. A work for hire, you give all the rights over to your product to whomever's publishing it, because basically this is like saying I work for them, and rather than I'm just an independent person um, writing a book. And I said to my agent at the time, this is my first book, my first contract. And I said to my agent at the time, who was a beautiful, beautiful man, rest in peace, James Finn. Um, and I said to him, if they're not willing to do the rights the right way, I'm not giving up these rights. You know, if, but if they're insistent, we'll have to say no. Now, mind you, this is the publisher I wanted, right? This is my dream publisher and one of the few publishers of Black romance at the time, because that's what I was writing. And he says, wait a minute there. And he had quite a few authors with Arabesque, including the inimitable Gwyn Foster. Um, rest in peace, Gwyn. And and he said, wait a minute. And he renegotiated the contracts in our favor. He and I think it was three other agents took them aside and said, no, no, we're not doing that. Our people are not doing that. So the point being, it's not a negotiation. It's not a boundary. It's not a line that you will not cross if you're not willing to walk away. And we all have to be willing to walk away from the table when love for us is not being served there. If you are not being served love, if you're being served disrespect, if you're being served, in my case, I was just being served confusion because they did not know what they didn't know yet until the agents helped straighten them out and told them this is how it actually works and not the way you think. But whatever it is that you're being served, that does not suit you, does not promote you, does not make you feel the grandest you can feel, that doesn't make you shrink down or shrink away. If that's what's happening, if you're shrinking down or shrinking, it's time to get up and walk away. Not tell other people how they have to treat you, but to be ready to get up and walk away from from whoever it is that is not treating you well. Anyway, I have, I think, rambled on long enough at this point. I really just wanted to come on and say a couple of things. So, okay, so now in our chat, we have our sisters in Sharkey, right? So now we have, let me see if I can find it on here very quickly. Um, I'm telling you, this time I'm usually very wide awake, but a little loopy. So, in the meantime, as I'm looking for this, I'm going to um, I'm going to tell you about my very strange day, which is that um, I was supposed to meet somebody for lunch today, and it was here in New York. It was over 100 degrees. I think it was with not with wind chill, but with the heat index. It was really, 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 really hot today. So the person was supposed to pick me up. We're gonna go, right? But a few minutes, maybe 15 minutes after we had decided what we were gonna do and how we were gonna do it, I called the person back and I said, it's just too hot. I'm really not feeling well. Can we do this, another day this week? And they were like, okay, well, we can do another day this week. And I hung the phone, and not 15 minutes later, all the power went out in my entire neighborhood. I thought it was just usually maybe this block that I live on, because we're right near what do you call those, like transformer center. Sometimes our stuff goes out, but it was a big chunk of the Bronx that was out today. And in fact, I was talking to another friend of mine, and she still doesn't have power yet. So goes to show you that when your intuition tells you something, because something just said to me, you can do this another day. You can do this another day. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I could do this another day. And so it turned out that that was the best that was the best idea, was to say, okay, never mind, we'll do it another day. So follow your intuition and let that lead you into what you need to do. Okay, so now I'm putting the other uh, site in for, and I hope it works, um, for the elemental alchemy that is coming up on Monday, the 30th. And I will wait to post anything about our summer of love, of summer of self love, just a little bit later. And I really appreciate you being with me here at this moment. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening, even though half of y'all are probably asleep right now. So, so I thank you so much. Take care. Have a great night. And good night.